So
Right.
I wanted to start.
Mhm.
Good, good, good. Thank you. So where does the Fudoshin nickname come from?
Uh, Back, I think like my 13th or fight or so, I fought in a event called Pure Combat, and the owner to that event named Al Joslin was an old karate guy, and he just thought I was a guy that kept coming, and Fudoshin means like immovable spirit. People I train with that I've trained with for a long time still get to kind of a laugh about it. And, you don't get to pick your own nickname. So it just kind of stuck for a while. But I thought about changing it once or twice. But yeah, no, it's still there.
Gotcha, gotcha. And so you kind of mentioned it. You've fought all over the world basically, and all sorts of different promotions. Do you have a favorite spot that you've fought at?
Oh, the best place I fought at was in Gold Coast, Australia, pre-COVID. So I don't know how it is there now, but that was the most beautiful place and nicest people I've met. But there's a lot of nice places in the world. Probably the best fans are in Poland that I've been around. But as far as the best place, Australia for sure.
Gotcha, gotcha. And so as a welterweight in the PFL with the last name Cooper, do you feel like at some point you're going to have to challenge Ray Cooper for some PFL Cooper supremacy?
Yeah, fight for the last name. If it gets there, that'll be a good problem to have. If it gets to that point. But I gotta go through some tough guys first. So
Got it. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and best of luck.
appreciate it. Thanks, sir.
Jonathan.
How you doing, Brett? You and your opponent Rory both debuted all the way back in 2005, but you had different paths to get where you are today. How do you feel your
Right.
experience over that time matches up with the same 17 years he took to get here?
I feel like we've had equal experiences on the elite level. He's obviously been more popular, and the reason he's been more popular is because he fought in UFC. I fought in everywhere except UFC, Bellator, PFL here now, and every other big organization. So I feel like he was kind of the path that I could have had, and he's done really well for himself. But yeah, I feel like I matched up with him well, and the experience is pretty equal, I'd say. But yeah, I'm looking forward to being the what is it? The battle of the first generation of MMA fighters. We both started MMA at the start. It wasn't, we didn't wrestle or box or kickbox. We both started doing everything at once. So it'll be interesting to see how we match up together.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you were able to kind of grow as a fighter as this sport has developed. How have you been able to stay at this top level as the sport has continued to grow and as there continue to become new implementations and new weapons as well?
The sport grows, here and there things change, but overall it's not that different. Everybody still has two arms, two legs. Um, so things don't change that much. Here and there, there'll be a new move implemented. Probably the newest move that's been seen a lot is probably the calf kick or something like that. So the sport will change in that way. It'll shift to certain kind of ways of moving, attacks, things like that. But I after a while, I kind of figured out it wasn't always so much about going hard in practice, banging it out, and leaving your best years in the gym. It's about being smart, being healthy, doing as much work as you can without other bodies there. And I think that's attributes a lot to my success in over the long term and be still being here.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, Brett, and good luck this season.
Thanks, sir.
Neil Davison.
Thank you. Hi, Brett. Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press.
How are
As you
you guys?
mentioned, nice to talk to you. As you mentioned, you and Rory are both young guys, but you've been at it a long time. You were a teenager, I guess, when you started. Can you tell us what got into the sport, and did you have any difficulties starting off? Because when you were so young, I think Rory had to get his parents' signature on his first pro fight.
Um, my first fight was I just turned 18 that year. I think fights still weren't legal completely in California, so there's a couple underground fights, and the next year I think they became legal in 2006. Yeah, no, MMA just kind of called to me. I've never been able to answer that question quite so well. People are like, why do you do it? It's just a way to challenge yourself. And I feel like every boy and man should have some kind of combat experience in some way, in however way you want to do it, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. And I just wanted to be good at it. And I felt like it helps develop certain skills that I feel make you useful to society, even after you're done. So yeah, that's probably the best way to put it.
And a quick follow-up, if I may, do you have any sense of how the fight may go this week, what his plan will be?
What his plan will be? It's going to be a slow fight. I know eventually he would like to take me to the ground because he probably has an advantage there. But he's capable everywhere. So I'm assuming he's going to be patient. He's going to stay long on the outside and use his length. I think he has a 76-inch reach or so. I'm about 71. So if we're trying to go jab for jab, I got to be a little bit more crafty than just be plain and simple like that. But yeah, he's gonna try to eventually get me down, probably at the end of the round, if he wants to sneak him away. But he's good everywhere, and I think it's not going to be a slobber knocker fight. I don't think. It could be, and I think that would suit me better. But I think he's real smart, and he's gonna come with a good game plan. But I'm ready for whatever comes.
Thank you.
Dylan.
Hey there, Brett. I appreciate you making some time.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I was just curious because the 2005 debut was mentioned there and everything. Like, did you think back then that the sport would progress in a direction whereby you could possibly win $1 million and those paydays could be available to certain fighters?
To an extent, I did. I always felt like sports such as the big three in the U.S., I felt like they were kind of dying out. There are sports that people my parents' age really, really like, baseball, football, hockey, etc. Those sports I feel like are not as much interest to younger people. But fighting will always be here no matter what, because you don't need to have an organization for it to exist. It's something that happens just because that's the nature of the world, fighting. And I always felt like it would get more popular and more popular, and people were making more money. Did I think that I'd still be here? I don't know. But I'm here, and I think I got a couple more good years left in me, and hopefully my predictions are true. Well, I don't want the other sports to disappear per se, but my prediction that MMA gets bigger, hope that's true.
Yeah, definitely love to see the growth there for sure. And you also seem like a very proud dad with your kids' athletic endeavors too, like the gymnastics and all that. Like, how much does that inspire you in your own kind of athletic pursuits as much as you're pretty deep into it now?
Oh, my oldest daughter, her name is Penelope. She's the most dedicated person I've ever seen. She works so hard. She gets it from her mom and me. My wife swam at University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and I do what I do. So the combination of that, I guess, helps. But she's the most self-determined person I've ever met. At 9 years old, wanting to train 5 days a week, 4 hours a day after school. I would never want to do that. But we have to tell her to stop training. And she's pretty inspiring. She'll probably be better than both of us at whatever she does. And she keeps me on my toes. I still can't do a press up from butt on the ground to up in a handstand. She can do like 8 probably now. even when she's not feeling well. And yeah, so, but yeah, I think all my daughters will do something athletically. It's kind of a staple in our family. You have to. So keep you busy so you don't do any silly stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much for the insights, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Lorenzo.
Hey, Brett, good to talk to you. This is Lorenzo here from Wilkiesburg Podcast. You've been fighting professionally for a long time now. You know, I've heard a few fighters who are still around from those days reminisce about, you know, the Wild West type of stuff that was going on back then. And I do find a lot of little details like that interesting. Looking back at those earlier days of your career, is there that one thing that maybe you look back on that you used to do for prep or for training that now, you know, we're talking like 20 years later, you look back at that and you're like, damn, I can't believe I used to do that stuff back then?
Yeah, for sure. I would say just overtraining. I would say sparring more than once a week with like big gloves and just banging it out. You know, I would do that a lot. I think you can do that for like the first 3 years of your career. Like you can go heavy and get some good experience. And I was just talking with Mike Brown outside. He was talking about the old Team Militich and how, you know, he thought about maybe moving to Iowa at one point. And I always heard stories that they would just knock each other out and just beat the crap out of each other. But they were the best team in the world at that point. So everybody thought that's what you're supposed to do. You know, now you have people, you know, world champions, like, you know, for instance, Max Holloway, he doesn't even spar anymore. I believe Robbie Lawler went for a couple of years. He didn't spar. So it kind of went the complete other direction. But I think that's people learning. There's no need to leave the fight in the gym, leave your health in the gym where you're not getting paid. I've had so many gym wars that people probably would have paid good money for that nobody ever saw or care about, you know, just you know, just guys being guys, I guess, just kind of ego driven, and he's not going to beat me. But yeah, I would say that was probably the biggest thing that I think a lot of people would share that same story. Some guys still do that, and God bless them, but it's just, I don't think it's the smartest approach.
I appreciate that, Brett. That's great stuff. Thanks so much. Good luck this week.
Thank you, sir.
Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Brett?
How you doing, brother?
Good. Are you still training at Team Body Camp? Team Body Shop? Sorry about that.
No, so about 2019, I moved to Nebraska for 2 years. And then from there, last August, I moved to Tennessee. So Antonio McKee is here. He has one of his own fighters, Abigail Montez, I think. She's earlier on the card. So she's here. So he's going to be here helping me. He's a lifelong friend. I probably, you know, if I do better in this, if I do well in these first 2 rounds, I'll be visiting him and training there. But no, I would not say I'm officially there, but he kind of, Antonio and the guys there jump-started my career, kind of developed who I was, and definitely had you know, a dog in the fight of who I am now. So you could say I still am Team Body Shop, kind of, sort of, just because that's how I've shaped myself. But I haven't really trained with him. I trained with him the other day, and he missed me the other day. But I mean, other than that, I haven't seen him in a couple of years.
Yeah, I like to hear that, man, because that's one of the camps where I'm at around here in Long Beach, Lakewood, California. So I'm real familiar with the McKees and stuff like that. And like you said, you know, it's kind of one of those things. Once you start off with a camp and stuff like that, they're kind of family implemented and stuff like that. You feel like, you know, you're still part of that, even though you're not a body shop fighter and stuff. So, I mean, that just goes to show right there that MMA is an evolving sport. And, you know, some things that you learn in the gym will stick with you for the lifetime, right?
Right. No, yeah, no, after I talked to the guys the other day, I have also Vince Ortiz with me. He's been with me throughout my career, even after I left Body Shop. But yeah, the friends that I made there, I've never really made friends, made as solid friends as I did there. One thing I'll give to Antonio is You know, he's a pretty unique guy, you know, in a lot of ways if you know him. But he really gave me a lot of the confidence in being creative with training. A lot of guys are very cookie cutter. You know, they all do the same stance, the same moves. Whoever the best guy is doing at the time, they'll just kind of copy it. No copycat. He's kind of, he'll go away from that. As you see with his son AJ, does stuff that nobody else does. And you can credit that to Antonio. So.
Yes, sir, man. Can't wait to see you fight this weekend, man. Be rooting for you.
Appreciate it.